Good morning. So this is another video on how to use the Casio CG50 calculator, and in this video I'm going to be looking at the Corbett Maths booklet, Solving Equations Fractional Advanced. This is another video where we're going to use this sequence of buttons. So here we go. Firstly, I'm going to turn my calculator on. Just as a reminder, there's the on button. Turning it on, and to go through that sequence there, it's Option, Calculate, Solve N, or I say solve to find a number. It's part of my routine. It helps to remind me. So that's what we're going to be using today to check our answers to the Corbett Maths booklet. So if I turn over the first page, here we go. We have the fraction 2 over x plus 2 over x plus 3 equals 1. So I've already got solve n on my calculator screen, and I now want to do the fraction. So this is a true view or natural display, which is really helpful. 2 over, and I use this button here, the x theta t button for my variable. Come out of that, plus another fraction, 2 over x plus 3, and that equals, so my equal sign now is down here, so I go shift equals 1. I've got an open blue bracket. I need to close my bracket to finish, and then execute brings me up with my answer. This says more solutions may exist. If you haven't watched any of the other videos yet, it's just to explain that there could be complex solutions, or when we're looking at solutions of tan, sine and cosine, then there are an infinite number, so it only gives a finite set unless you set the parameters within which you want the answers to be. So just always press exit for GCSE, and then here we go. It tells me that the answers are x is -2 and x is 3. So we put that on the answer line. If I look then at the next question, this is very much the same. The only difference is a subtract sign. So just to go through that sequence, because I haven't come away from that screen, I still have solve n there. So solve n, bracket 7 over x, out, minus fraction 2 over x plus 2, come out of that, equals 3, close bracket, execute, exit. My solutions this time are -7/3 and 2. So x equals -7/3 and 2. Now just to remind you that these are just the answers. They do not secure any of the method marks in between. So you would still have to go through the normal process, but what this calculator does is it helps to give you the confidence in your solution, and so that you can check it as you go. If I look, question number 3 is the same. Question number 4 is slightly different, because on this one it says solve, giving your answers to 1 decimal place. So let's see how different this looks on the calculator. Solve n once again. I have 1 over 2x plus 1, add 4 over x subtract 2 equals 1. Okay, so here we go. Now here I have a purple or a pinkish arrow, and that means that if I go up to my solution, I can see more to the right. Hold on. But if you push this arrow here, it just changes the menu. What it wants you to do is scroll to the right. Now it can be quite tricky to see those answers. So now I'm on there in black. If I push the execute button, like so, what it does is it puts it into a table for me. This is very much like the table we saw when we were doing the solving linear simultaneous equations. So I've got the answer to 1 here, and I've got the full decimal along there. I've got the answer to 2 and the full decimal. Just as a word of warning, don't simply read it from the table, because it truncates the numbers, it doesn't round them. Okay, so there it's -0.316. Here it's -0.3166. So you would actually round that if it was to 3 decimal places differently than if you were to truncate it. In this situation, it wants the answers to 1 decimal place. So here x is -0.3. Or x is 6.3. There we go. So that's solving to 1 decimal place. Let's just check through the other questions. 1 decimal place again, 1 decimal place again. The difference is here is we've got an x in the numerator, and here we've got an x in the numerator as well. The calculator copes with it in exactly the same way as entering the other ones. And then just lastly, just to show you that it can do that, I'll do question 7. So how do we come out of this? If you push the exit button, it takes you back to the normal calculator screen. And say if you weren't on the solve n option bar down here, just to remind you, it's option, calculate, solve n. And I'll put in now my fraction, x subtract 4 over x plus 5. And I'm going to take away 3x subtract 2 over x plus 1 equals 1. Close my bracket. Exit. I prefer to have the table. So it gives me negative 7.4 and 0.00. Okay, because it only wants it to 1 decimal place. So there we go. That's the end of that video, which was looking at how you could mark your answers to the Corporate Maths booklet, solving equations, fractional advanced, with the Casio FX CG50. Take care. Goodbye.